Good afternoon, children. I am your English teacher Cynthia Isaac with you. We are going to start our English for 6th standard today. Your first lesson is Who Did Patrick's Homework? Yeah, this is a very interesting story written by Carol Moore. It's about a boy who doesn't want to do his homework. He finds it too boring or very boring. We also find sometimes homeworks are boring, right? Yeah, so we can just enjoy this lesson because we have experienced the same way as Patrick has experienced. Okay, but Patrick is somebody whom we should salute to because he finds it very difficult and he very often gets scoldings from the teachers, but still he has got the inspiration to recover from that. He wants to become a very good student. So he is trying himself to become a good student who does the work promptly. For that he is using a kind of a trick. It is known as magical realism. But it is not really magical realism. It's a kind of make-believe. It's Patrick's own inspiration come forward or personified, we say. Inspiration is becoming like an elf in the story, and the elf is doing the work for him. He does this, actually not the elf is doing, he himself is doing the work in the name of elf. He does his homework himself. Here we should understand that self-help is the best help. We should not rely upon somebody to do our work always. It is not reliable. We cannot get help always. Once or twice we will be able to get help from others, but we need to be relying upon ourselves. We need to be keeping our trust on ourselves to do our work by ourselves. So let's see who did Patrick's homework. Do you like homework? Do you do it yourself or do you get help from somebody? What homework do you usually have? These are the things before we go into the story we need to think about. If we were in the class, we could have just had a discussion on this. Even now through the Google Meet we'll do it. Okay. Now let me teacher read the lesson. Who did Patrick's homework by Carol Moore. Patrick never did homework. Too boring, he said. He played hockey and basketball and Nintendo instead. His teachers told him, Patrick, do your homework or you won't learn a thing. And it's true. Sometimes he did feel like an ignoramus. But what could he do? He hated homework. See, Nintendo is a video game. Ignoramus is an ignorant person who lacks education, who doesn't know anything. Those people who did not do the education, we call them as ignoramus, ignorant person. So here in this lesson, in this paragraph, whatever word that you find it difficult, you can write in the column next to the lesson. You can see where Nintendo and ignoramus is written. There is plenty of space remaining. So whichever word that you find difficult, write it there and write the meaning next to it. And while reading, keep the meaning in mind and then read. So read that paragraph by yourself now. So here what is, you understood that paragraph, no? It is too boring for him and he, instead of doing the homework, he always played hockey and basketball and Nintendo. And his teachers always tell him that if you are not going to do your homework, you won't learn a thing. You will not learn anything. And it is true too. Sometimes he did feel like an ignoramus while without doing the homework, sitting in the classroom. He himself had felt it very many times that he is an ignoramus, an ignorant person who is not educated. But what could he do? But he cannot do anything about that because he hated homework. Then one day he found his cat playing with a little doll and he grabbed it away. To his surprise, it wasn't a doll at all, but a man of the tiniest size. He had a little wool shirt with old-fashioned breeches and a high tall hat much like a witch's. He yelled, "Save me! Don't give me back to that cat! I'll grant you a wish. I promise you that." So now, here he finds one day a cat playing with a little doll, and he took it away from the cat's hand. To his surprise, it wasn't a doll at all, but a man of the tiniest size. Tiniest means the smallest size. So the man of the smallest size. He had a little wool shirt, woolen, that material. The shirt is made up of wool. Wool, no, it's the sweaters are made up of to make you warm. So he had a little wool shirt with old-fashioned breeches. Breeches or short trousers. Breeches means breeches or short trousers. The writer here, instead of breeches, it says breeches. Here the writer is spelling it for fun, to rhyme with the word witches. Okay, so this is, breeches is not the right word, breeches is the word, and here the author is making it in such a manner to rhyme with the following word witches. See, breeches and a high tall hat much like a witch's. It's like that sentence, if you read, when you read, you feel like a poetry. He had a little wool shirt with old-fashioned breeches and a high tall hat much like a witch's. Now, so when he took it, he could find out that it is not a doll, it is a tiniest size, a smallest size human being, and he had worn a wool shirt with old-fashioned breeches. Breeches is short trousers, short trousers, and it is pronounced as breeches actually, and the spelling also is different. And a high tall hat much like a witch's. Witches, no? Witchcraft. Yeah. So, and then he was wearing a kind of hat of like a witch, and he yelled. Now when he took him in the elf in the hand, or the tiniest size doll in his hand, he started yelling. Yelling means crying loudly. "Save me! Don't give me back to that cat. I'll grant you a wish. I promise you that." So this tiniest creature is telling Patrick that, please save me. Don't give me back to that cat. Otherwise, the cat will tear me apart or kill me. So please don't give me back to the cat. And if you want, I'll grant you a wish. You can ask me a wish, which I will promise that I will give it to you. Patrick couldn't believe now how lucky he was. Here was the answer to all his problem. So he said, "Only if you do all my homework till the end of the semester, that's 35 days. If you do a good enough job, I could even get A's." So here Patrick is finding a way to do his homework. He's telling that elf, or telling that tiniest size human being, that if you can do my homework for myself for 35 days, I will save you out. So he said, only if you do all my homework, then I can save you till the end of the semester. That is 35 days. So be with me for the next 35 days and do all my homework, so that I'll grant you your wish of not giving you back to the cat. If you do a good enough job, I could even get A's. I can get all the A's for my semester examination. Patrick couldn't believe how lucky he was. Here was the answer to all his problems. So he said, only if you do all my homework till the end of the semester, that's 35 days. If you do a good enough job, I could even get A's. The little man's face wrinkled like a dishcloth, thrown in the hamper. He kicked his legs and doubled his fists and grimaced and scowled and pursed his lips. Oh, am I cursed? But I'll do it. And this little man did not take that wish of Patrick so easily. Let's see how he reacted. The little man's face wrinkled. It became so small and with a lot of uh, lines and wrinkles on the face, like a dishcloth, the cloth which we use for washing dishes. How it will look? It will look very crumbled and with a lot of lines and all. No, likewise, this little man's face also wrinkled like a dishcloth. Thrown into in the hamper. Hamper is what? A basket. See, after cleaning the dishes, this cloth will be very untidy and with a lot of wrinkles and lines. And after doing it, we'll just throw it into the hamper for cleaning or use after cleaning to use it, isn't it? So this man's face became wrinkled like a dishcloth thrown in the hamper. Hamper, a basket with a lid. The soiled clothes which we wear and want to wash, we'll keep it in a soiled linen box or a basket. That is known as hamper here. So in a basket where you keep all the soiled clothes, a dishcloth, how it will look like? Dishcloth will look like a wrinkled, worn out, dirty thing. Likewise, this man's face wrinkled. What does it tell us? It tells us that he did not like the work given to him to do all the homework for 35 days. He kicked his legs and doubled his fists. He showed all his unhappiness about the work which has been given to him. He kicked his legs. Kicked means he just stretched his leg, or he acted as if he is going to stamp somewhere. He kicked his legs and doubled his fists. He made the fists. What is fists? The fingers. Once you just close your fingers together, it will become a fist. So he kicked his legs and doubled his fists and grimaced and scowled and pursed his lips. So there are a lot of words which you may not be knowing. Kicking the legs means he is just stamping on the floor, showing his anger. And double fist means closed fingers. Just close your fingers so that the arm will become a fist. Okay, so with strength he is making his arms into fist, and grimaced, scowled, pursed his lips. His face had these expressions showing disgust, anger, and disapproval. So all these words together means the face had these expressions showing disgust, unhappiness, anger, and disapproval. He is not approving. He is not agreeing with it. So his face showed all these kinds of expression when he heard this is the wish that Patrick put forward for saving him from the cat's hand. So he did not like it, but he doesn't have any other choice, only to agree. So he is agreeing, but I'll do it. I'll read the paragraph once more. The little man's face wrinkled like a dishcloth thrown in the hamper. He kicked his legs and doubled his fists, and he grimaced and scowled and pursed his lips. Oh, am I cursed? Oh, I'm so unhappy. I am so doomed, but I'll do it. So that is how that paragraph tells you. And true to his word, that little elf began to do Patrick's homework. Oh, luckily that little elf began to do Patrick's homework. And true to his word, that little elf began to do Patrick's homework. Except there was one glitch. The elf didn't always know what to do, and he needed help. Help me, he would say. And Patrick would have to help in whatever way. So here, true to his word, he had promised that he will do all the works for him, but he required help very often because he is not an educated person. This elf did not go to any school or anywhere, so he wanted help from him for all the work that he is supposed to do by himself. but there is no other way for Patrick also. He should get it done. So he started helping him out. Uh, and true to his word means he did what as he said that he will do the work. True to his word. He was true to the word which he had given to Patrick, that he will do the work. So he started doing the homework of Patrick. And true to his word, that little elf began to do Patrick's homework. Except there was one glitch. Glitch is what? A fault in a machine that prevents it from working properly. A problem. A glitch is an informal word. We do not use it in formal talk and all. But what does it mean? It's actually a fault in a machinery for making it work. So glitch is except a problem. That is the meaning it is given. Except there was one problem. So glitch is a fault in a machine that prevents it from working properly. Here, hitch or problem. Okay. So except there was one problem. The elf didn't always know what to do and he needed help. So this little creature did not always know what to do. So he needed help from whom? Patrick. Who else is there to help? Only Patrick is there. So he would always say that, help me, help me. And Patrick would have to help in whatever way. I don't know this word. The elf squeaked while reading Patrick's homework. Get me a dictionary. No, what's even better, look up the word and sound it out by each letter. So he always used to make big noise. He used to scream, squeaked while reading Patrick's homework. I don't know this word. Get me a dictionary. He would ask for a dictionary to look for the meaning, and then he would say, no, you only look the word from the dictionary, sound it out by each letter, and then give me that word meaning. So that is how he used to ask help from Patrick. I don't know this word. The elf squeaked while reading Patrick's homework. Get me a dictionary. No, what's even better, look up the word and sound it out by each letter. So get a dictionary, find the meaning of it, read it out for me, sound by sound, and that is how elf used to get help from Patrick. When it came to maths, Patrick was out of luck. What are times table? The elf shrieked, gave a short, high-pitched cry, shrieked. Small birds makes very thin voice, loud, thin voice, that is known as shrieked. What are times table? The elf shrieked. We elves never need that. And addition and subtraction and division and fractions. Here, sit down beside me. You simply must guide me. Elves know nothing of human history. To them, it's a mystery. So the little elf, already a shouter, just got louder. Go to the library. I need books. More and more books. And you can help me read them too. See the way Carol Moore used his language, it's like a poetry. He's using rhyming words very often to make a narration. So here we have seen there earlier britches and witches. Here it is history and mystery. And one more we have seen shouter and louder. So there are the words are used in such a manner that it sounds like a poetry. So here elf is asking help for mathematics. When it came to maths, Patrick was out of luck. Means Patrick had to do all by himself actually, because this elf did not know anything. He started asking, what are times table? We have learned times table, no? I mean, like 2 2s are 4, etc. The elf shrieked. He doesn't know what is this times table. We elves never need that. And addition and subtraction and division and fractions. Here, sit down beside me. You simply must guide me. Elves know nothing of human history. To them, it's a mystery. So even mathematics, history, etc. were difficult for him, because elves, according to this little fellow, elves, he said that elves know nothing of human history. To them, it's a Mystery, it's a wonder. We do not know what it is. Mystery means wonder. So the little elf, already a shouter, just got louder. Again, the what you call the rhyming or alliteration comes there. Go to the library. I need books, more and more books, and you can help me read them too. So now he is asking, Elf is asking now to Patrick to go to the library to get more and more books, and you can help read them too. So likewise, now Elf is making Patrick do a lot of work. As a matter of fact, every day in every way, that little elf was a nag. What is nag? Nag is somebody who troubles someone all the time by complaining or asking them to do something. There are people who does so. No, at home sometimes some children are like that, going after mother all the time, asking for this and that, to do this and that. So we call such children as nag. Or some people are also there around. When you are doing something, they'll come and ask for many things, very many at times. So it becomes a kind of nag. We can use nag in such a situation where somebody is bothering you very always. Such person is a kind of problem, a troublesome person. So as a matter of fact, every day in every way, that little elf was a nag. Patrick was working harder than ever, and was it a drag? Patrick was working harder than ever, and was it a drag? What is drag? An informal use, something dull and uninteresting. So now Patrick was working harder than ever, and was it a drag? It was something dull or uninteresting. So it was drag for him. It was uninteresting. Doing homework and doing any work at home was kind of an uninteresting thing. It was a dull thing. Now, but he is doing a lot of things. He was staying up nights, had never felt so weary, so tired, was going to school with his eyes puffed and bleary. So now he started going to the school after doing a lot of homework, staying up night, staying late night to refer for all the books to find out the answers to the elves' questions. So he used to stay night for a long time to study. So now he was going to school with his eyes puffed. When you are not sleeping properly, your eyes will become puffed. Puffed means it will become swollen. It will become big and bleary. You will look like very tired, weary and bleary. So I'll read it once more. As a matter of fact, every day in every way, that little elf was a nag. Patrick was working harder than ever, and was it a drag? He was staying up nights, had never felt so weary, was going to school with his eyes puffed and bleary. Finally, the last day of school arrived, and the elf was free to go. Now it is the 35th day. That day was the last day for him to work for Patrick, and he can leave after that. As for homework, there was no more. So he quietly and slyly slipped out the back door. So every homework is being done. All the works of the school have been done by elf. Now it was the last day. So it is the time for him to leave. So he quietly and slyly, very secretly, slipped out the back door. Patrick got his A's. His classmates were amazed, wondered. His teachers smiled and were full of praise. And his parents? They wondered what had happened to Patrick. He was now the model kid. Cleaned his room, did his chores, was cheerful, never rude, like he had developed a whole new attitude. Now see an amazing result of doing his work at home. See, when we are asked to do some work by ourselves, we have to do it without any delay. Once we do all the work which is being given to us, we'll be very happy, so that our character itself will show, it will be reflected in our character. It will be shown in all your actions. When you are happy, how you will become happy? We will become happy only when we are doing the part given to us. As children, what are your part now? To study properly, to pray well, to do all the things in the proper manner, etc., etc. There are things given to you, no? To go to the mosque early morning, get up, do all the routine cleaning, etc. And then so many things are there given, and it's so many small things for your development, personality development, etc. So that these are the things that you're supposed to do. If you are not